My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. We break down full UFC fight cards every single week, giving you our picks, predictions, our bets, and our fantasy plays. So make sure you like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And if you want $50 free, go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. We have 5 different betting partners who all offer their own promotions, their own matches, and their own giveaways. And then on top of that, after you sign up and after you make a deposit, we send you $50 however you want it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, WeWantPicks.com/bets. Next up at UFC 275, we have Brendan Allen taking on Jacob Malkoun in the prelim feature fight. Brendan Allen is 18-5 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, and he's coming off the submission win over Sam Alvey. Jacob Malkoun is 6-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, and he's coming off a great grappling win over AJ Dobson. Brendan Allen is a BJJ black belt with solid low kicks, solid takedowns, and much improved striking overall. He just dropped and then submitted a very durable Sam Alvey. He moved to Sanford MMA a few camps ago, and you can really see those improvements. Historically, his game plan was grappling. He would get the takedown, be very tough on top, and work from there. But at some point in the last year and a half, he turned into a striker, and he's had mixed results. I mentioned he knocked down Alvey, but he was also knocked out by Chris Curtis in the fight before that. The fight right before that. Similar to Brendan Allen, Jacob Malkoun is a grappler who at times prefers to strike. He likes to plot forward and throw everything with power, and because of this, all his punches are looping. Even his jab isn't straight out. It's got a little loop in action to it, but he sends it with a lot of power. He steps into everything, which can leave him open for takedowns, but it does add some sting to his strikes. He's a capable wrestler who lowers his level and times his shots really well, and most of his shots are clean and in the middle of the cage and not push against the cage and work down to the legs. The odds have Brendan Allen as a minus 280 favorite, and this keeps moving. This is minus
305 now. Minus 305.
Yeah, it was minus 240 when I did quick picks. And now he's ballooned up to over minus 3. Dude, minus 280 was, I did these graphics at like 3 p.m. So it's moving, and it's moving pretty quick. But it's a little tricky, and I think they're wide because on paper, yes, he just beat Sam Alvey, but he looked awful. He looked awful in that fight. Sam Alvey was touching up Brendan Allen. It looked like Sam Alvey was going to cruise to a win there, and it was remarkable. And then, Brendan Allen landed that punch and then worked the submission after that. The problem is, I honestly think that if Brendan Allen shows up on Saturday looking like he did against Sam Alvey, I think he loses that fight. I think Jacob Malkoun gets it done. But it's just so hard to know what Brendan Allen you're going to get because he also outstruck Punahil Soriano, and he looked great doing that. And he had no business striking with Punahil. But he did it. He outstruck him. He outgrappled Kevin Holland, and he looked great doing that. But then he gets just lit up by Chris Curtis. He looked terrible against Sam Alvey, even though that was a win. And I feel like I'm picking way too many underdogs on this card. The fact that the line continues to balloon up for Brendan Allen worries me here. But I think I like Jacob Malkoun to get it done. I think I can trust him to shoot, get the takedowns. And you can't trust Brendan Allen to grapple when you want him to grapple. You just can't trust him to do that. You mentioned it earlier on a different breakdown. He should have just wrestled Chris Curtis, and he didn't. And look what happened to him. So I think Jacob Malkoun, I think he can get it done. But listen, the bet is not the money line bet. Yes, plus 22, 225 or 250, whatever it works up to.
255 now.
255. That is enticing. The bet is plus 3.5. That's the bet. I think he can absolutely steal around. I don't think there's a stoppage. You think he stops him? You made a face.
I'll just keep going, Angela. I'll give my breakdown.
All right. Well, I think Jacob Malkoun can win a round plus 3.5. That's all that means. I'm buying one round on the judge's scorecard. I need him to win one round on his own. And then I'm good. I win my bet. I get my money. And I think Jacob Malkoun with the wrestling can absolutely win a round. You're only going to get that if you go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. You sign up, you make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. Go ahead, Jacob. Let me know what you think of my pick.
No, I was gonna say this is again. This is one of those cards, guys. Again, where it's don't really listen to the pick, listen to the analysis, because I don't disagree with Angelo's analysis in this fight. I mean, he's going to wrestle. Jacob Malkoun is not interested in striking. He wants to take you down any way possible. If that's zombieing forward, whatever it is. And Brendan Allen, I like Brendan Allen, but you cannot. You cannot trust him. You cannot trust him, especially at minus 300. You cannot trust him. I wouldn't put my fingernails on Brendan Allen at minus 300. I got great fingernails. Actually, I bite the shit out of my fingernails, but they're I mean, they still are kind of fantastic.
Dude, I actually have great. I bite this.
My mind does
second,
just my mind. I try to transition,
second,
and then
they were beautiful, and then just raw nuts.
I try to I think of something funny to say, and then I'm trying to grab something, and it just keeps going, and I just give up on it completely. Brendan Allen at minus 300. You can't trust the guy because he got knocked out by Chris Curtis, and you would have thought, okay, I got knocked out. Let me just grapple Sam Alvey. That's my path to victory. But again, he tries to stand up with Sam Alvey, and there was like 30 seconds in that fight. Sam Alvey cracks the dude, doesn't drop him, and he ate it well. But Sam Alvey's got decent power, but he does like crack the dude, and he still is not looking to grapple. I think a little bit after that, he tried to grapple, was not able to get the takedown actually against Sam Alvey. He ended up getting a submission win because he knocked down Sam Alvey eventually. So maybe that makes him fall in love with the striking even more. I actually think that, as much as I don't trust Brendan Allen, I'm going to pick Brendan Allen. He's a 300 favorite. I think that this is the perfect matchup for him because it's a guy that doesn't really have knockout power, isn't looking to strike with you, and he's going to force the wrestling and the grappling out of Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's a guy that is losing his interest for whatever reason in the grappling. Jacob Malkoun's going to make him grapple. He's going to force the takedowns, and Brendan Allen's going to have to react to the grappling. What Brendan Allen cannot do is be that guillotine guy. You cannot be the guillotine guy. I'm sick of these jiu-jitsu guys being the guillotine guys. I say it every single week against the dominant wrestlers. You end up on your back, and Jacob Malkoun is a guy that when he gets on top, he is a ground and pound guy. If he gets on top of you, it's not going to be slow, methodical, work for submissions. Oh, I'm a black belt. I can defend against submissions. You cannot defend against elbows to your forehead, and that's what Jacob Malkoun will do to you. So I agree with Angelo in the right that if this goes to the ground and Brendan Allen is on his back, he is going to be in trouble. There's no throwing up triangles, throwing up arm bars. You can't do that against Jacob Malkoun. He's too good of controlling you on the ground. So I'm doing Brendan Allen. Hopefully he's able to use some of his offensive scrambles when Jacob Malkoun's shooting to end up in good positions and find submissions that way. If he wants to stand and strike, this might be the best guy to do it against, I guess. But I'm going to Brendan Allen. I don't trust him at all, but he is going to be my pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. Brendan Allen's the more well-rounded fighter. He's definitely the more well-rounded fighter, but, you just don't know what game plan you're going to get out of him. So I'm not going to – this is not a hill I'm going to die on, but at this point, if you look at Brendan Allen's last two fights, he was slept by Chris Curtis and then looked like absolute trash against Sam Alvey. And I love Sam Alvey. I think Sam Alvey's much better than his record, but that dude's lost 5 fights in a row. So
this could be a live bet situation because Brendan Allen could win the first round. We saw Jacob Malkoun in his last fight get basically dominated in the first round, then flip a switch and finally be able to get those takedowns. If he can't necessarily get the takedowns in the first round, these odds could balloon to if he's already minus 300, it could be minus 600, minus 7. Jacob Malkoun could be a plus 500 after the first round. But if he's still there, I might take a flyer on him because he could easily start grinding those takedowns and win the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how this fight goes for sure. DraftKings 9,000 to 7,200. Listen, we're split on this, right? 9,000 says Brendan Allen's going to get a stoppage. Do you think he gets a stoppage?
I think he could, but I don't think he will. So I'm definitely not playing it for 9,000. I don't trust that son of a bitch.
It is. The problem is I don't like very many $9,000 fighters in this card, so it is very tricky. But $7,200 for Jacob Malkoun. If you think he wins and you think he works in, I mean, his UFC average is almost 7 takedowns per fight. Okay. If you think that's the type of fight that he fights, yeah, he needs to be in your lineup because takedowns are 5 point each and you're going to clean up and make a fortune on this guy. So again, pick your lane and run with that. The Monkey Knife Fight strike line, it's an interesting strike line because the favorite has fewer strikes listed here. The way Chris calculates these strike lines, first of all, go to weonpicks.com/MKF. You sign up, you make a deposit. They will instantly match that deposit. So you get some free money, and you can use that free money when you play these lines. The way Chris comes up with these strike lines is it's a math equation. He looks at how many strikes does Brendan Allen average per minute, and then how many minutes is his fight expected to go. And he does the same thing with Jacob. Jacob ends up on top, and he's busy on top. Therefore, he's...
And I usually am a top. Hardly ever a bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Hardly ever. But if it's a power bottom situation when I am.
Yeah. No, you're definitely in charge down there. So Jacob has more strikes because he is busier in his fights overall, and it's just a simple math equation. I think it's probably more. I think this fight most likely goes the distance. I think they go at it. I think there's a lot of back and forth. So I do think it's a more situation. I don't necessarily think Brendan Allen's going to get a quick knockout, and I don't think Jacob Malkoun's going to take Brendan Allen and put him away. That's not how you beat Brendan Allen. Yeah, yes.
100% agree.
Red hair. Okay.
No, I was just going to say 100% agree.
All right. Well, fantastic. And if you agree that free money is a great thing, go to weonpicks.com/bets, sign up, make a deposit, and we will send you 50 schmackaroos.